Hello and welcome, everybody. It is 6 o'clock, it is Monday, and it is the 6 o'clock club. There we go. Hopefully, that is coming across to everybody once there is a degree of catch up with the delay. I've been very busy. We've got a sort of new layout, it's a work in progress, but it's looking it's looking
It's
more
looking good.
professional. Yeah, slick.
Yeah, look at us.
Yeah. So yeah, very very big thanks to Elsa for doing the banner. I can't claim that myself, but I did stick it onto the scene myself, which is a gold star for me, knowing my skill in technology. Um, been a busy weekend and everything else, so lots to cover about what we've done and what we're going to do tonight. Big hello and welcome to Kristian as well
Good
for
evening,
joining
everybody.
us. Um, so, apologies first and foremost for me being poorly last week towards the end of the week. Yeah, I don't know what it was, fatigue, some kind of cold I was fighting off. Um, but I was wiped out, literally wiped out. It kind of passed by sort of Friday afternoon, evening. It was only kind of almost a 24-hour thing. But yeah, apologies. The idea is to do the 6 o'clock club, sort of Monday to Friday.
That's what you
Well,
get for trying to stream without me.
yeah. Well, it wasn't just that. In fact, Virgin, our internet provider, unfortunately went down as well. Um, so it was a double whammy. So even if I wasn't ill, I couldn't have streamed. Um, but we are back. Lots of news, and I can't wait to get going. Another big shout out, really. We are very much looking to sort of move our platforms, sort of test out our platforms, and we're looking to do some live streaming on YouTube very soon. Hopefully, tomorrow night we'll do a tester. And I reached out to our community, both myself and Heather actually did. Heather got an awful lot of her friends to subscribe onto YouTube. It's going to be interesting what they make of us. Very interesting. So I want to say a big thank you to everybody who gathered together. And I know it seems like it is just a simple action, sort of logging on onto your YouTube channel and finding us and then clicking subscribe. I mean, it is fairly easy, but a really big shout out to you all and a big thank you for doing that. We've still got a distance to go, but we're on the road, and that is better than not being on the road, being down in a ditch with your wheel falling off and you're desperate for the toilet. I just
That's
added that
that's
for
normally
a
where I am.
yes. Welcome to our lives. Um, so we're back on the road. We've relieved ourselves and we are moving forward. So I just want to say a heartfelt thanks to everybody that has done that so far. Really, it makes an absolute massive difference. If you haven't, if you get a chance, do it. We would very much appreciate it. Um, so whilst we've got some announcements for the future of the stream as well, not just the 6 o'clock club, Twisted Narrative as a whole. Um, while we're waiting for people to jump into chat, if we do have anybody that joins us on a Monday night, I'm going to talk about the weekend's games, what we've got coming up this week, and then um, for the immediate future as well. So please shout up if you're in chat. If you've got any questions that you think of, any questions about the games that we've ran, games that we're about to run, or Kristian, if there's things you played in some of these games as well, and certainly we'll be playing in some of them.
Oh, there's going to be comments.
Yeah. So if you're interested, sort of pre-Friday, we covered those in other 6 o'clock clubs. So I'm going to kind of start on Friday and just cover the weekends. Not as many games, to be perfectly honest. The Call of Cthulhu that we were going to run got postponed, and so did the late night Sunday night one. Friday, though, it started off with our regular Friday game, Collateral Damage, high level game. You've heard me talk about it before, 18th level. There were hysterics at the table.
What happened?
Well, I'm not sure whether it's fully repeatable, but if you were in that game, and a shout out to the players there, there's excuse me, V, there's Ben, there's Charlotte, there's Stuart, there's Ryan, there's Michael. How many is that? I think that is everybody. Rich are he's got a character called Adran, and he's just had a child, so we call him Dadran.
Okay.
He's AWOL at the moment with the new child. So big shout out to Rich as well. Yeah, I mean it's a great game, great set of players, and for 18th level characters in the fifth edition game, um, they more or less can do anything they want, and what they do is I think it's a very late night stream, and some people will go, "Is this how you play fifth edition D&D? I don't recognise it." But there was shenanigans afoot and literal hysterics at the table as well, so it was great fun. I'm not going to tell you what happened
Shame.
because
But some
it's
things are best to stay private, I
yeah,
guess.
yeah, absolutely. And in this circumstance, I think it is 100%. What stays in the more holds stays in the more holds. But great fun. I had a blast with it. Then Saturday, sorry, I'm looking down at my notes. Saturday we had 3 games. We had Dungeon of the Mad Mage. Again, super fun. Kind of does what it's on a tin. Great set of players. It's a massive mega dungeon. I'm running it kind of as written from the book, so people still play fifth edition. People still are playing Dungeon of the Mad Mage, so I don't want to give spoilers away. But a good couple of combats. They've furthered the plot, and it's going to be very interesting to see what happens sort of next. Then a game very close to my heart. It's fifth edition Dungeons and Dragons, but set in Greyhawk. We've got a few old school players who are playing it in that kind of way. They've embraced fifth edition. Don't get me wrong, but it very much reminds me of the games I had as a teenager. Yeah, it's that kind of humour and that kind of banter around the table. It's a joy to behold. Um, it's one of my guilty pleasure games, really. Um, in the fact they like that old school feel of we're just not messing around to following the plot, but
Yeah.
it's almost a gang of mates hanging out together, and I've known the players for a long time, and it's just got that kind of feel, really. Um, they don't really know this, but I was kind of using them for
You
one of
what?
the for one of the products that we're using. So they visited the village of Scratch, which is going to feature in the Riddle of Rotwood Bog.
Yes.
And it was really interesting to see their sort of reactions to it as well. And they played through that sequence a little bit, sort of changed. I don't want to say much more about that because we're coming on to that in a minute. Um, and then the last game on Saturday was Tales from the Smoke, where we had Cara, Kyle, Ben, and Marcus in there. And
And that's your
again,
setting, isn't it?
yeah, I mean, it's again, as much as I like Greyhawk, and as it kind of takes me back to my childhood. Everything from my childhood forward to this point has led to the smoke and um, this world setting and everything else. So it is again just an absolute pleasure to return to it and to deal with all the different guilds, the politics, and everything else is going on. And we're kind of running these ones. It's a campaign, but it's a campaign of one shots, if you know what I mean. So I try to run it as tightly as I can, not confine the players, but every game has got a start, a middle, and an end. and the story then will have plot hooks to the next session, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
And that's quite an interesting dynamic. I 100% allow them to role play. You know, if they do want to kick back and have a very solid role play amongst each other or with the NPCs, absolutely. But I try to give it that feel that each session is contained. It's not self-contained and has no relevance to the next sessions, but it feels like they've resolved something, and then the next one they'll have a plot to move on and resolve something again. Um,
Yeah.
it's an interesting style because as a GM, I hate the thought of rushing players through any encounters. I mean, you don't want player paralysis where they're having a circular argument or a circular
Yeah.
discussion and not going anywhere, and it's leading to frustration. But at the same point, you don't want to be saying, look, stop talking, stop role playing, stop enjoying
Shut
yourself.
up for a minute.
There's an encounter going to go on because I need to get it finished. And you know,
Come on, some of us are on the clock.
yeah, that is not the intent. So it's quite an interesting sort of challenge, really. You know, but a beautiful game, beautiful people, beautiful setting. As far as I'm concerned, I love it. Um, and as I said, unfortunately, the Cthulhu did not fly. And then, wow, Sunday, only 2 games. Only 2 games on a Sunday. It
Short
was
day
like
for
I had a
you.
day off, only six
Yeah.
hours of role playing, and another perhaps 4 hours of prep and all of that kind of stuff as well.
Prep.
Prep indeed.
I just make it up as I go along.
Yeah. So the first session. Hey, Cara, thanks for shouting up. I hope you heard all of the wonderful words I just said about you and your game. I really enjoyed it. I'm loving your characters. Cara was playing in the Tales from the Smoke game on Saturday. So mythical. Hello, Rachel. I'm not sure what the liar means. There's so many.
Ooh, I think we've lost you. We've lost you. Guess it's just me. I gotta guess I've got to fill time whilst Andy is doing basically.
Hello, hello. Can you hear me now? No, there's a delay. There's a delay. Yeah, I mean, literally, I should work in IT and be paid a fortune. I unplugged it and plugged it back in. But thank you very much for that info. Kristian, still silent though. I can hear you, Kristian. Uh, Wait there. It might be because I'm an idiot and I turned you down. I found that I can mute you. You can talk now. Oh,
Well, well. Here was me saying things
yeah.
whilst that was going on. You know,
You were filling time for me, and I
I was trying to
appreciate it.
fill time, and but turns out the only person that could probably hear me is Rachel downstairs. So
Thought you were being funny. It's the kind of thing that you might do. It's the kind of thing you might do.
yeah, no one really knows of me. Sometimes I don't know myself.
But
You're
genuinely, I think the microphone just, um, I don't know, it kind of stalled really. But we're back. You can hear what I'm saying. I don't think you particularly missed anything important, mainly because I don't really say anything that has any kind of relevance or importance anyway. In fact, go so far and say is, why on earth are you watching me now, all of you? But I wouldn't say that because I genuinely appreciate you being there. So don't all just disappear on me. So mythical, I think I was talking. Wow,
Yeah,
I'm feeling.
you got to Sunday, so we got
Yeah,
to Mythical.
great game. Again, this is a genuine sort of one-shot experience. Start, middle, end. It's tier 2 now, so we've got characters from level 5 to level 10. We had Marcus, Ian, Natasha, Jack, and and they're fairly regular players in these one shots. And they worked it out. I will no doubt be running this one shot again, but it was an interesting one. There were some, not so much red herrings, but I don't know if you find this, Kristian, but when you when you put in one big bad,
Yeah,
but you then put in a second big bad, and they go one way and they go, oh, so but that big bad's working for that big bad,
yeah,
and it was that slow realization,
yeah. Oh, yes.
which was great to see. There was basically a countess. They figured out it was a vampire. What they hadn't figured out, she was a cultist of Asmodeus. So
Yes.
because they can do that.
Lord of the Nine Hells.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And it was quite interesting. They'd opened up a poor house and they were feeding the poor, the destitute, off the streets. But of course, they were getting them to thumbprint contracts to
I
feed
see.
them, and they were all going, "Oh, it's blood sacrifice. It's this. Oh, she must
Yeah,
be a, she's a countess. She must be a vampire," which she was. I mean,
yeah.
let's.
I mean
Um,
that is stereotyping though.
I know, but it's cool. But they made their way through the bowels of the sort of underground area of this poor house, and they finally uncovered this temple to Asmodeus with a load of contracts, and
Yeah.
they did manage to piece actually all of the plot together within the three
Ah,
hours, which was
that's
good.
good.
Uh,
Normally, my players piece it together and go in the opposite direction.
yeah, no, I think though, and this is a sensible point about one shots, especially if you establish it at the start of the game. This is your 3 hours. This is the game. You can play it at your own speed, but the game is coming to an end. So you've got 3 hours to solve this puzzle sort of thing, really.
Yeah,
And it
yeah,
kind of some players don't like that. Totally understandable. Different tables, different experiences. But the people that signed onto that game knew that, and there's an energy, if you know what I mean, to not rush it, but try and work out what's going
yeah.
on.
You've got a compelling event.
Yeah,
You need to try and figure out what's happening,
yeah,
and you do only have a certain amount of time. Otherwise,
absolutely.
you could fail.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So it was that was an interesting one. Then the final game, which is the one that Kristian is desperate to talk about, is Everon, which Kristian plays in, and it was like part two. Um, Last week's session, they arrived at this private party of these gamblers that had been invited there in this mysterious pyramid casino that is going on, this
Yeah,
floating resort upon Lake Galifar, and they were rubbing shoulders with the
the great and good and bad and ugly.
yeah. And there was some fantastic. It was all role play. There was some kind of insight roles, which is totally understandable. But on the whole, it was a nice flow. I felt anyway of narrative
Yeah.
and discovering NPCs. But I only I only see it from my side, is what I'm trying to say. So Kristian, uh,
Well, it was really. I mean, a bit metagamey because I from a one of the NPCs we'd encountered was Captain Dove, who I, as a player, have encountered in one of Andy's other games, and there was a good reason for him being there because at the casino there were people from all realms were seemed to be converging. So, and Captain Dove is one of my favorite characters of Andy's. There are characters Andy does that has stuck with me either because they're really good or because they're really bad. I will probably say more on that next week. But Andy did get a message from me when he did something, and I believe the message just simply was 2 letters, and the second one was you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm never quite sure with this NPC whether it's, well, perhaps I am sure it's Kristian, isn't it? Kristian is
Kristian hates that MP. And I love him,
yeah.
and I hate him because of the way that he infuriates me. I really like it and I really hate it because it's that power of a good NPC that sticks with you. I don't think I could truly say I hate him and don't ever want him in a game. But then I come up against him and I think, oh, you're like the FromSoft of NPCs.
Yes. And I can't wait. I know Rachel is aware of this particular NPC as well, but I can't wait for the rest of the party. The rest of the party, they've encountered some of my NPCs, and some of my NPCs are, roguish, have got good traits, bad traits. They can be nasty to people or be good to people. There's a whole sort of gamut. And I sometimes think, 'cause I've been playing with the players for a very long time, I think they think they've seen me at my best. They've never seen me play this character, and
No.
it's one of the reasons
I'm
why I
looking
didn't.
forward to it.
Yeah, I just didn't want it I thought it was sort of the game wise, the story, the continuity. The character that was hosting the party just would have gone, no, you're not coming to my party.
Yeah, I don't think he gets invited to any
No,
parties.
no. So I thought it was kind of appropriate, perhaps just do a little name drop and not shoehorn him in there. Um, so yeah, and I mean, there's a chance you might just never encounter him. You know,
No, not with chance. There's no chance with him.
yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. Something to look
Mm.
forward to. Um,
Something I'm more looking forward to how everyone else will react to
yeah,
him.
yeah, yeah. No, it's an interesting one, and I really need to be in the zone to play him. Um, one can only hope to avoid. Indeed, Kyle. Indeed, it's actually a challenge, really. Captain Dove is
I
very
mean, what a
much
guy.
like me. I mean, is very much. It's quite easily to channel quite a lot of myself. I probably shouldn't be saying this because he's a ne'er do well. He's a cad and I'm not.
Yeah,
But
we know.
yeah, yeah. Well, fair enough. Fair enough. But yeah, this see, Cara was a big fan of Captain Dove as well. Um, and this other character, which I don't want to mention,
Yeah,
said
we're
name,
not saying the name. And
um,
also, if you say the name, he might turn up.
might just turn up. Yeah, he's quite difficult to channel. It's not something that comes particularly um, naturally to me. So it's fun to play. It's fun to be a villain, but it's actually quite challenging to keep the continuity of the NPC as well. Maybe that is something we should perhaps talk about in another 6 o'clock club.
Yes.
Continuity of character and how you can sort of keep them. But it was great. I mean, it was quite a hard process for me. I was juggling multiple NPCs.
We
Um,
didn't make it easy for you, did we?
no, no, no. You made it perfect because you went and spoke to them. What would have made it difficult is you just sit down at the table, whisper amongst yourselves, and not interact with any of the NPCs that are deliberately put there to get the plot out.
Yep.
So,
Nope.
so
No plot, thank you.
yeah,
We're
we're having
busy over
we're
here.
having
Thank you very much.
cocktails. It's a free
Yeah.
bar.
Yeah.
Um, that that could happen. So I was really pleased about the interactions and stuff. And there was so much stuff, and you've only, as I'm sure you're aware, only just scratched the surface.
Yeah, yeah, we've got so
Um,
much more to uncover with this mystery of the pyramid and
yeah, yeah,
everything. It's quite a nice. It feels like it might be quite a nice not self-contained, but an adventure.
Yeah, yeah,
It's almost like a social dungeon,
yeah.
and those are my favourite kinds of adventures.
I'm very much inspired by Knives Out, I will have to say. Not by the stories of either Knives Out or Glass Onion, but just that ensemble of characters and the mixture between various different things. So yeah, I have to say, kind of inspired by those kind of movies anyway. So I mean, I've babbled on for 25 minutes, but I had a great weekend. I'm very blessed that I get to do this for my job. Um, but it never ends because it's Monday. This is technically my day off, and I'm setting up for next week. Um, so very, very quickly, we'll go into next week, and we'll go on to some of the other things that we're doing. I, I what I'm actually genuinely interested in, especially for you in chat. But if you're watching this in the future from catch up or whatever, is do you find us chatting about the games that we've run of at all interest? Because I enjoy talking about it. I'm not going to lie,
You enjoy
but
talking.
well, yeah, I do. I think actually, yeah. Okay, you got me.
It's your job.
I mean, I wished I got paid per word. That would be really good. But hey, the very fact I get paid, I still have to slap myself every morning and kind of go, "Am I really doing this? Am I going to wake up in a minute and find out that, yeah, I work in an office or something?"
Hey,
Uh,
I work in an office.
where you work, yeah, some offices are nice to work in. I
Yeah,
work
this
in
one.
the office, perhaps. A big fan of the TV show. Not everybody's cup of tea, but it certainly is mine. I thought the original
So
Office was genius.
it was very good. But with feedback, feel free to stick it in the chat. On our Discord server, on the Twitter Narrative Discord server, there is the 6 o'clock club, and I'm looking at my screen. You can't see what I'm looking at. There is a 6 o'clock club channel. Please feel free to give any feedback about the 6 o'clock club in there, things you'd like to see, things you'd like less of, um, you know, that sort of thing. So any and all feedback is greatly appreciated.
Please be kind and don't say less of Andy, because
Yeah, because I don't want to talk more.
um, this week I've got a full set of games on again. I'm going to quickly rattle through them, let you know which. There's very few that have got spaces on. I have to unfortunately say, which is kind of good for me. But tomorrow night, I've managed to persuade people, draw them in to another one shot of Feng Shui.
Yes.
Yes, is that? That's about as close as I'm going to get.
It's as close you're going to get, yeah.
Yeah, Feng Shui. So, or Feng Shui.
Feng Shui
Feng
or Feng
Shui.
Shui.
Yeah, okay. So I'll get in there. Cinematic madness, two-gun action. It's kind of set in modern times. Certainly, this scenario is, but there are different junctures in time that pull ancient sorcerers, futuristic cyborgs, and everything out into just this massive cinematic mashup of everything. It is 80s action movies on several cans of Red Bull. Um, I avoided the drugs reference there, although Red Bull could be that. It's high octane madness. It's
It's
cinematic and
amazing.
great fun. Um, we've got Kristian and Rachel that are playing in it. We've got Natasha. Shout out to you, Natasha, if you are listening or listening on catch up. Natasha plays in lots of our games. Uh, they are a massive, massive Shadowrun fan as well. I'm saying that's really for
Very
Christians.
nice.
Um, so I genuinely think that they will be really. They're the great role player anyway, but I think once they get a feel for the game, they're gonna go, "Wow, this is amazing." I'm really looking forward to that. It's called Cat and Mouse. Although Cat and Mouse is spelt slightly differently, it's going to be a good one. We do have one space left.
Come join us.
I mean, and I'm more than happy to extend that to 2 spaces if you are potentially, you know, not wanting to leave your significant other spare for the evening, and you want 2 people to join in. We could squeeze 2 people in, and it would lower the overall price as well. It's definitely going to fire. I'm running it with 3 people. Boom. So it's on tomorrow night. If you're free, if you fancy it, it's going to be amazing. We're going to talk more about it tomorrow night, no doubt, leading into the game itself. Um, then Fortunes Untold on Wednesday night is an ongoing campaign every other week, fortnightly. Fifth Ed Dungeons and Dragons. Um, some brilliant use of spells last session. I did speak to it about it on 6 o'clock club on the Thursday, doing a recap. And then on Thursday, Icebreakers, the Critical Role campaign that we've got, again, fortnightly. Very much looking forward to that. Then we return to Collateral Damage that I mentioned. This is Friday. Collateral Damage again, weekly game, 5th edition, 18th level. Going to be real good fun again. Unfortunately, no spaces once again. Then we come to the weekend, and the weekend gets a little bit sort of busy for me. 4 games on Saturday. We've got Curse of Strahd. Again, they are so close to the end game, and I've seen this quite a few times. Is that, and it's
You said that
perfectly just,
before.
yeah. No, I mean the end game goes on, and until it basically the characters have agency over when they decide to approach Strad. Strad isn't just lurking in a dungeon waiting for the characters to turn up to kill him. He's got a Castle Ravenloft. He holds parties there. Um, Everybody knows that's its lair, and he's got so many servants. So there is this concept, and I've seen it through different player groups, of have we done enough? Are we really, really prepared? Because, I mean, we can go there, we can probably be invited for dinner, we can have polite conversations and etiquette, and we might leave with our lives. But if we start something, I mean, we
That's
we
it. Yeah,
need
you
to
got to
end
finish
it.
it. Yeah,
There is no Strad controls the realm. There is no real hiding from it. Once you've offended him to a degree, you're going to need to kind of finish that. And I think, and I've seen it. I've run the campaign a number of times. There's 2 little bits. Is like, are we ready? But there's also, I think, that, oh, but if we go and do it and we defeat him, it's done, it's over.
yeah, that's it for the
It's
game. Yeah,
it's like that. It's not so much in that case with this one because they've got plot hooks for other domains of dread and everything else. I mean, when I say they are in the end game, they are. But that end game could easily run a year.
yeah.
I don't want to say much more because again, it's a published adventure, spoilers and the like. And then Saturday afternoon, we've got Tomb of Annihilation. They are also in the end game now, and unlike Strad, they are working through this horrible dungeon of a Serac, this lich. There's no spoilers there, um, and they know they have to go to the end of it. They don't have any choice. It's like push forward, deal with this thing called the Soulmonger, um, and possibly deal with the Serac or perish basically. So it's exciting. Again, no real spoilers there for you. Then we've got our Critical Role Diplomates. Um, Great fun role playing experience set in the world of Exandria from Critical Role again. And then one of my favourite things. It's a Call of Cthulhu one shot that we should have been doing. Maybe this
This last
Saturday.
week?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I honestly, last week or the week before. Oh, no, it's 2 weeks ago. It's something that I've kind of semi-written, and I need to finish it off. It's one of the things that I've got to do. It's called It's Just Not Cricket. It's set in 1920s, set in the grounds of Oxford University, where two of the colleges are gearing up for May Day cricket match. I mean, it's idyllic. It's the 1920s. Spring is coming. There's a rival cricket match in the hallowed halls of Oxford. Possibly could ever go wrong. So very, very much looking forward to that. And again, this is one of the ones I mentioned in sort of Welcome to the Table. Is I thought of the title first. Um, you know, it's just not cricket, kind of meaning something untoward is going to go on, and then I worked backwards from there. Really, I don't want to say much more, but I'm very much looking forward to A, finishing writing it, and B, running it. I'll tell you all about it next week. And then Sunday, um, 3 games, technically two. We've got another mythical one shot. We do have spaces on that, so pop to our Discord. It's going to be 5th edition, one shot, self contained. Great experience. We've got our Eberron game straight after that,
Woo!
where you get to deal with the mess that Captain Dove has literally made. Um,
It'll be all right.
it'd be fine. And then further the plot even more as we probably go to day one of the card
Yes, a tournament.
tournament. Um, and then, unbelievably, after Eberron, I'm kind of doing a play test of the Twisted Narrative rule set. Um, um, it's not the rule set; it's the players. This should have been a one shot. Um, Called the Heist, set in 1920s. I've actually ran it as a Call of Cthulhu one shot. Again, thinking of sort of publishing it. It did spin out to being a two-parter. To be fair to our wonderful playtesters, but they've managed to stretch it out to a third session. So very much
Oh,
looking
they
forward to
must
this.
be enjoying it then.
Yeah, I mean, again, uh, don't want to rush people through it, but what I'm pleased because the rules that I've written are incredibly light. So the role playing is coming from the players, not from the rule set, which is what I wanted to kind of it to be. So that I mean, they are a great set of role players, um, but again, they are coming to the end game. That it's going to be. It should. I say this every week. We'll finish this. We'll finish this. Oh, right. See you. See you in
No,
2 weeks. See
no,
you in two
no, no.
weeks. So that is my week. I hope I will see some of you for it. If not, all of you in chat. If you're watching from YouTube, I'm posting this on YouTube or on Twitch on what catch up, and you are interested, please find the link um, to our Discord. Come and join our community. Everybody's welcome. It's not just about the games that we run. It's a very community server, all about if you've got problems at work or you want a vent or whatever. A completely safe space, what we've tried to create, and everybody is welcome, provided you're a reasonable human being, which I'm sure you all are. Um, so that's it for this week at Twisted Narrative. But I did spoiler in the lead into this that we've got
We have
some
announcements.
other
Announcements.
plans, and I have to admit I'm super excited about all of this. I would say that because like I've done it, but
Well, you got 6 minutes.
yeah, well, I mean, got 6 minutes. 6 minutes till I potentially get divorced because I should be having date night with my good lady wife. Um, we can overrun if we want. So this Thursday we'll be missing Kristian. Hopefully Kristian is here tomorrow and Wednesday, but Thursday we'll be missing him. So I have invited an individual called Matt, who is co-writing all of the stuff that we are publishing together. So this is going to be a great opportunity for you to meet Matt and for me and Matt to discuss what we've actually done, because we've got something that is going to Kickstarter very, very soon. Um, and what we've got planned for the future, some of the things that we're working on. Um, so hopefully you'll find that of interest, and you'll be meeting Matt. But it goes more from that. I'm hoping the week after. I've chatted to Charlie, who I'm going to introduce. You'll get to meet Charlie Menzies, who is the creator of, the co-creator, I believe, of a role-play game called Shiver. It's very, very cool. It's cinematic play, not like Feng Shui, not it can be played as action movies, but originating from horror-based type games. But the rule set can be expanded to do all sorts of different styles of game. It's got some very innovative sort of dice, the way the system works, and we'll be chatting to him. But not only will we be chatting to him, this is if he can confirm and do it next week. If not, we'll schedule it for another time. We're going to start doing some actual plays again. We're going to stream
Exciting.
some plays, and Charlie has volunteered to run a few of us through Shiver. So we'll be live streaming an actual play of Shiver, and you'll actually get to see me as a player. Yeah,
A unique experience
it
that
is a unique.
I don't think many of us have experienced. I mean, I have because you played in
Yeah,
my
yeah, yeah.
Shadowrun game. Not to sort of humble brag too much, but but
So
no.
I mean, I'm very, very excited for this. It's a great opportunity for you all to see how Shiver runs. It's a great opportunity for me to get a sort of game. Hopefully, we can get Kristian along as well. We Charlie's talking about bringing some people that are sort of familiar to help us run through that. But that we're not sure how long the actual play will last for, but it'll probably be a 2-3 hour session. So, a proper set of games. And if that goes well, which I'm sure it will, we're also looking at perhaps doing other actual plays. Some of the things that we've got in mind is doing the Kickstarter that I've mentioned. It's the Riddle of Rotwood Bog. Um, I'll probably be running an actual play of that, so you can um, see how it runs and what it plays, and see some people um, playing up some characters.
Oh, you'll see some people
Yeah.
playing up all right.
So we've got some actual plays in mind, and if it goes well, we might even be able to do a couple of months or even one a week, depending on the demand and everything else. Which leads me into the final thing, as we are coming to a little bit of a close, is I'm also looking at doing a charity stream as well again. The last one that we did was absolutely bonkers. We raised a ton of money, which was absolutely fantastic. Um, and yeah, I'm putting together that. So once we get all the tech into place, once we've done Shiver and maybe some of these other fifth ed ones, um, sort of soonish, we're looking to do a charity stream as well. So hopefully that will keep you all entertained. Um, and I'll be chatting about it on our Discord as well, looking for ideas and all of that kind of stuff. So as mentioned before, if you haven't already, jump on there, say hello, get involved, because
Come join us.
tabletop role playing is all about the people around the table. My Discord is kind of my table, and you're all welcome to it. So come and join us if you can. Um, that's about it. Tomorrow we'll do the 6 o'clock club again. We're talking about feng shui,
Yeah,
feng
yeah.
shui. Um,
Close enough.
Yes, we'll be talking about that leading into it, talking about the kind of things that we've seen appear on our Discord. We might even mention those three letters again, OGL, and it's all
Have there been
sorted now.
developments?
Yeah,
It's all
yeah,
sorted now. Oh,
yeah.
great.
I mean,
That's it. All sorted. Everything's fine.
fundamentally, it's not a non-story, but it's kind of it's worthy of a comment or two, really. But fundamentally, um, they're not making any changes at the moment to the open gaming license. This is Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro, but I'll probably cover it when we've got more time tomorrow.
Yes.
So, without further ado, thank you very much, everybody in chat. Really appreciating you hanging out. I hope you found some of those conversations of interest. I hope you are looking forward to what we can do. Just as a quick one, we are looking to try and do the 6 o'clock club streaming live from YouTube tomorrow. So watch out for a different link or something else. Let's see if I can work out how to do it. But I've got all day tomorrow to do it, so I'm fairly confident.
You've got 23 hours.
23 hours, absolutely. So I'm stalling because I don't want to leave you. I don't want to leave you, but I've got wine and cheese and my Heather to consume. So the wine and cheese anyway.
Stop.
Stop. Too much information. I love you all. I will see you all hopefully tomorrow. And if not, in Discord. Thank you very much, Kristian, for
No, thank
taking
you.
part. I really appreciate it.
Good to be here as
Goodbye to
always.
everybody else. Stay safe. Look after yourselves. Hopefully,
Bye,
catch you all
everyone.
tomorrow. Bye bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.